In this section, I will talk about my paper that is about the building updated research agenda by investigating papers indexed in Google Scholar, a natural language processing approach. The major motives in this research is mainly because of the fact that there are a lot of the researchers that we have got, we do not have uh, a lot of time in dealing with the checking with which topic um, that is a gap of research, or that is like they have a lot of research already. So what we try to do is that we try to build a research agenda by studying the papers indexed in Google Scholar. So you may ask a question, why not we try to study like Web of Science and Scopus or other databases? The major reason is that for Google Scholar, this is the database with the largest number of the papers. Whether they are indexed in good Scopus, Web of Science, or some papers that do not cover in these databases, you can still find in Google Scholar. And then by doing so, you can actually get very quick idea on which areas that there is a gap of research and which area that we do not have much paper. We may not have much paper by the time we're studying the title of the research. The significance of study, therefore, is it actually helps the scholars to identify new research directions, there's research gaps and areas that have not been studied thus far. And the important pieces that are often being missed out, and it is very tiresome for them to do the research by going through different databases. So our research is actually to shorten the time required to identify the research gap by using web scraping and also natural language processing approach. So we test this approach by web scraping the titles of the research indexed by Google Scholar in three areas. There's a safety awareness, housing prices, sentiments, and artificial intelligence from 1988 to 2019. We try to use a tokenization method to pass the title of the publications, and phrases and keywords from the highest to lowest frequency were ranked. So natural language processing, they try to convert the unstructured text into a structured form, and thus it can be used to identify and extract the information automatically. So additional normalization at the word level to determine the lateral word root stemming and expand the abbreviations to their corresponding full forms. So for the synthetic analysis, they try to determine the language portion of the words and their grammatical structure. So there is an other types of the NLP that is usually involved. Semantic analysis to assign meaning to the words and key phrases and linking them to the semantic types and concepts, which is also another thing for which the natural language processing that is usually deal with. So we have got a lexicon of words and definition of synonyms that can be used in the natural language processing research as well. So what we have done is that we try to study by going through three areas of research. So area number one is the safety awareness research. So by using the safety awareness research that we try to scrap all the titles from Google Scholar, and then we find that number one is that a lot of the uh, a lot of the papers is about students, and then we have got a lot of papers about health and workers. Construction, there are a lot because a lot of the papers is about construction awareness, and there are 51 altogether. So we can actually try to go through these 51 papers to see what kind of the research gaps that we have, and then why, and then what we can deal by the time we try to look at the construction safety awareness. We try to read the construction safety awareness work, and then for the table three here, they show the tokenization of the artificial intelligence and also sentiment analysis research indexed in Google Scholar. So you can see that sentiment analysis, of course, that is the largest number because we have got a title about artificial intelligence sentiment analysis. Sentiment classifications, positive, negative, that is usually done. Method, we try to look at the method that it has done a lot. That is machine learning, and then usually used for like trader and also for opinion mining inside those like social media. So you just tell us a brief picture what it's doing in the academic circle before we go into detail. So by the time we talk about like trader sentiments, that it is usually done already. So you don't need to consider whether or not that we have to go into detail. So for the research findings, so table 5 and 6 that we have got the research findings. So we have got like housing market, we have got price dynamics, price index, and then we also have got the results of the housing price research paper title index in the Google Scholar of the words with the highest frequency, like for example analysis based market study China hedonic. So by the time we talk about the housing prices, most frequent most frequently done type of research is actually hedonic price housing model, and then in China. So we can actually go into detail about this 95 papers if we do research in like China for the housing prices. So future directions. So further research methods should be taken to assess the knowledge and practice related to health and safety outcomes. For example, that if we try to look at like safety awareness, how can we like utilize this data to go on for further research? We may have to spend more effort in identifying the related research gap, as there are many research that has been done already. If we consider doing research on Twitter, sentiment analysis, opinion mining approach, for example. When we build the research agenda, other regions or research methods should be used and included instead. So say for instance, we have got a choice that we can do something on like Cyprus and also like China housing prices. Then probably there's like when we try to use a hedonic housing price model, then we may consider doing something other than China in that case, or use some other method that is not in hedonic housing price model. So the work described in this paper is actually supported by grants from the Research Grant Council of Hong Kong, Special Administrative Region in China, UGC FDS 15, Year 1, 18. So for more information about the research, you can actually email me at ritalec@hotmail.com. Thank you very much.